In a few minutes, we are going to be joined by Dr. Gigi Gronball, Senior Scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security at the Bloomberg School of Public Health. We're talking all about the triple-demic. This is Bloomberg.
Now, your 3-day weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
Occasional rain for the balance of today and more rain likely tonight. Some of this rain could be moderate to heavy at times, too. Temperatures in the low 40s during this evening will rise overnight. So by tomorrow, it's cloudy, breezy, and wet, with rain likely again 45 to 50. Dries out later on Friday night, though, down to 35, and partly sunny, low 40s on Saturday. Mostly sunny and cold on Sunday in the 30s. This is Gary Best with your weekend weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
The news you need to start your market day on Bloomberg Daybreak.
This is Karen Moscow.
And I'm Nathan Hager. Join us tomorrow morning on Bloomberg Daybreak.
We'll find out what's ahead for the trading day after a volatile week for markets with Tracy McMillan of Wells Fargo.
And the January 6th committee is getting close to its end game. We get the latest from Bloomberg Government's Emily Wilkins.
Bloomberg Daybreak, weekday mornings at 5 on Bloomberg 1130, the Bloomberg Business app, and BloombergRadio.com.
Bloomberg's The Year Ahead event returns to Davos for conversations with leading CEOs to map out a strategic blueprint for global business in 2023. Set against the backdrop of the World Economic Forum, join leaders from across the globe on January 17th in dissecting critical issues from taming inflation and deepening geopolitical tensions to environmental priorities and the future of work. Help shape the conversation for the year ahead. Learn more at BloombergLive.com/TYA2023.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Let's have a lot of people pedal those bikes. Intervals. Burn. Burn. Come on, burn. Woo!
Performance is more exhilarating on a real road. Introducing the Audi Q5. With a 261 horsepower engine that'll take you 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. Always obey local speed and traffic laws.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and at Bloomberg Quick Take. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash. From Bloomberg World Headquarters, I'm Charlie Pellet. Investors are parsing a bevy of economic data, also stocks getting knocked down after the Fed and the ECB, both the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, warning of more pain to come. And the S&P right now down 111 points, a drop there of just about 2.8%, very close to session lows. We've got the Dow down 886 now, a decline there of 2.6%. Nasdaq down 385, a decline of 3.5%. The 10-year yield 3.43%, with the 2-year 4.24%. Spot gold down $28 the ounce, down 1.6% now, $17.78. West Texas Intermediate crude down 0.9%, $76.58 per barrel of WTI. Among the names reporting after the close of trading today will be Adobe. That stock down now by 3.9%, part of broader weakness in tech stocks. Recapping, S&P down 110, down 3.8%. Nasdaq again down 3.4%. I'm Charlie Pellet. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
Thank you so much for that update, Charlie Pellet. Really appreciate it. Well, Scarlett, it is the return of the mask. We're talking about New York, LA, more places too. People are being encouraged by their local health departments to mask up again. This is rates of RSV, flu, and COVID. The so-called triple-demic are worrying health officials. To talk more, we're very pleased to have back with us Dr. Gigi Gronball. She's a senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security at the Bloomberg School of Public Health. The Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health is supported by Michael R. Bloomberg, founder of Bloomberg LP and Bloomberg Philanthropies. Dr. Gronball, good to have you back with us. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So we knew that COVID would be with us forever. I kind of got that impression after a couple of years. What I didn't realize is that, we'd have this sort of, different attention to viruses that in the past were not really part of our everyday lives for many healthy Americans. What has shifted over the last couple of years where we're worried about this triple-demic?
Well, these diseases have always been around, and we've had winters where people have colds and they share colds or share flus, and we talk about how so-and-so was sick over Christmas. But, I think we have a heightened awareness, that's for sure, of how we can be sick, especially since a lot of us escaped flus and other respiratory nasties for the last several years.
And that's exactly where I want to go. Because we were masked up, because many of us worked from home, those who could, flu season was really not too terrible the last 2 years. How does that change the body's physiology in terms of responding to this season's flu? Or am I conflating everything?
Your body is you don't want to catch the flu, whether it's, this year or last year, and it hasn't, your body's immune system is going to be the same regardless of whether or not, flu is high or low in your area. Mm-hmm. But we weren't harmed by not having a bad flu season last year. But yeah, it's not great that, that health providers are getting overwhelmed because so many people are getting sick. There are precautions you can take. It's not too late to get a flu vaccine. Mm-hmm. It's a good match this year. It's not too late to get a bivalent booster for COVID. Almost everyone is eligible to get that, and it will reduce your risks of illness, and it could take a couple of days of feeling bad off the end of your illness.
Which we would all welcome. And unlike past vaccines, there seems to be plenty of bivalent vaccines available. What about Tamiflu? Now that there is such a virulent strain of the flu spreading, is there enough Tamiflu available so that if patients needed it, it can be prescribed?
I haven't heard of a shortage, but because most of the time people don't bother to go into the doctor to get a prescription, unfortunately, and we should, so this should be changed. I will also want to add that if you do have COVID, if you test positive for COVID, you should, if you're over 50 or have other medical conditions, you should take Paxlovid. A lot of doctors haven't kept up with the science, and they think that Paxlovid might cause a rebound, but rebound that's part of COVID, and Paxlovid can keep people out of the hospital.
I'm not going to throw my colleague under the bus here, but one of my colleagues had a pretty bad case of the flu recently, and I asked her if she got a flu shot, and she said no. And I'm wondering, you say it's not too late to get a flu vaccine. If you've already had the flu, should you still get a flu shot?
Well, we don't type what everybody's flu is, so I think, better safe than sorry. There's certainly no risk in getting a flu shot, but if you know you're going to be traveling in 2 or 3 weeks, it's just better to do it as soon as possible at this point, because there's just so much going around. And another thing that people should be doing is paying attention to their indoor air, not just masks. If you're having people over for the holidays and dinners, turn your home thermostat or your home HVAC system to auto. I mean, not from auto to on, so that the fans are always going and filtering the air.
I'm just going to open my windows and make everyone wear their jacket.
I think that's the better move. And also, given how much the electricity costs these days, probably a smarter and wiser move as well. Tim mentioned the triple-demic, and so we talked about COVID, we talked about the flu. There's also RSV, which, and correct me if I'm wrong, feels like it's something that's definitely coursing through the school-age population, little kids in particular.
Right, yes. It's especially horrible for very little kids, for babies. And there is a vaccine that's on the horizon where pregnant women can get the vaccine and can help protect their babies once they're born. But we do need more medical countermeasures for RSV. It's a terrible disease.
That RSV vaccine for pregnant women is not out yet?
It is not. It's supposed to be out soon, but I haven't heard a date.
Hey, Dr. Gronval, I was in the drugstore, the pharmacy earlier today, and I was actually tasked with buying some acetaminophen for babies because we're going to be with family over the weekend. My brother is having trouble finding it in his area in Washington. The shelves were bare here in New York. Why is it so difficult for us to predict, for these huge pharmaceutical companies to predict supply and demand when it comes to seasonality of this stuff? Because I feel like over the last couple of years, it's like supply chain story after supply chain story with some basic medications.
Yeah, we need to do much better. I mean, it's always been a just-in-time environment, and it needs to be much more of a just-in-case. And this is why for example, yesterday the administration announced that they are making the pharmaceutical stockpile go on ready so that it can assist hospitals with these kinds of medications and masks and ventilators because of these supply chain shocks. Yeah, a lot of the COVID-19 lessons learned have been about how we need to have a better prediction of supply chain issues, but also that we just need to stockpile stuff so that we don't run out.
What about stockpiling masks? We know masks work with COVID, and of course with the flu it helps too. Is that the most effective way to protect yourself against triple-demic? And do you see governments or local governments, school districts, for instance, mandating that more people mask up?
It's become so politically charged. I have a hard time seeing it, but yes, I mean, masks can protect you. And so I think a lot of what we are trying to do at our center is focus on the things that can affect everyone, like making improvements in indoor air quality, and so that people know when they're going into a public space, they've really paid attention to the air and they're making sure that, that it's as clean and healthy as possible, and making sure that medical countermeasures like for RSV and flu, that we can continue to improve this so that, we can do more protection without mandating masks.
Dr. Gronval, help me and help our listeners set expectations for the remainder of the cold temperature-wise season. I guess it makes sense that, I'm now wearing a mask around the office because we're going to go see family over the holidays. Scar, I know you're going to be doing some traveling, so I imagine you're going to be wearing a mask when you're doing some traveling.
The entire flight, I'll be wearing it.
Okay. I'm just wondering, Dr. Gronval, in terms of how we should think about how long this flu season goes, how long RSV, how long COVID season goes this time. Like, when will we start to see a dip in cases and we can kind of take those masks off again?